And
Mhm.
I know we all connect with that. And we do have we have our own little haunt families wherever we're working. I'm with a bunch of different haunt families, but then we have an extended haunt family. We can go to any haunt anywhere and meet people and talk to them. And I went to Japan last year, and I went to a haunted maze, and they didn't speak English, but we tried to communicate a little bit, and kind of made a little bit of that connection. It's there. It's people that like this kind of stuff, and like I've always said, not everyone does. My husband, no, he doesn't like this. Like, he's been to Delusion and he thinks Delusion's great. He's been to Play Dead. He thought that was fantastic. But these are theatrical.
Yeah.
He's not into anyone coming up and scaring him. Like, that's a rule that was set down long ago in our relationship. There's no popping out and scaring him. Like, once I'm in haunt mode, it's hard to get out.
Well, you brought it up, and that was good. And I wanted to encourage anybody who's watching to check out the movie Haunters: The Art of the Scare. It's on Amazon Prime.
We did. We're on Netflix for like, I think, 2 or 3 years, and we just moved over to Amazon Prime. If you don't have that, it's always on. It's always on iTunes. You can always get the iTunes one. And if you get the iTunes one, please spend the extra $1 and get the one that has all the added bonus features, because they're really good. Probably my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't think they don't have that on Prime, but if you get a chance, they're really good. If you like Universal Haunt, John Murdy, who is the guy who makes Universal Haunts, he talks about his very first maze, and it's a Star Wars maze. It's from when he was a kid, when Star Wars first came out. You get pictures of that, and I don't know. There's a bunch of different things. There's stuff from the Haunted Hayride. There's a bunch of different haunts that just didn't go in the movie, but John has like all this extra footage, thousands of hours of footage of haunted houses and different events all over the country, and it's just a little taste of some of the other things.
It would, to me, and to anybody who enjoys haunts or Halloween, it's a must watch to me, because I mean, like, you're in it, and there's a bunch of other people. For some people who are curious, Russ McKamey from McKamey Manor's in it. And then there's also other haunters, like a lot of the home hunters, and they interview a lot of people. It's really interesting stuff, really fascinating stuff. It goes through the processes that you all guys do, and I don't know. To me, it was awesome.
I'm glad you liked it. It was a really cool movie to be part of. I mean, I'm honored to be part of it. I just started out doing one interview with John after I met him. He went to a show I did called Play Dead. I'll tell you about that in a second. And then one of my castmates like, you got to meet him. He's doing a haunt movie. I'm like, yeah, because I'm fine with anyone doing a haunt movie. That's cool. And then we talked for a while, and it's like, yeah, this guy's like, he's actually got it. He knows what he's talking about. He's really into it. He's not just, somebody that's trying to like put something out that just to turn it over. I mean, he really does love haunting, and he goes to all these events. So it was really cool, and it got to know him. And then from this film, I got to do a lot of travel with it, because it was in a lot of film festivals. It's won a lot of awards, and it's still something that people stop me all the time. Well, not now, but stop me if they see me maybe, or they know my name from it or something, which is really great, because anyone that wants to talk about haunting, I love talking about haunting 24/7 if it's possible.
Right.
This is just our busy time of the year, and it's like, it's nonstop. But I mean, I talk about haunting all year long. But yeah, it's a look inside what haunting is about. It doesn't talk about every single thing, but it certainly gives you a peek into, like, Russ, who's one end of the scale, and then Donald Jewson. Yeah, way end. Off the map, I would say. And then like Donald Jewson, who makes his own home haunt, and the way he got into it is John knew him as a kid, and John actually was in a haunted maze with him when they were kids. Yeah. And here he is. He's still doing it, still doing his show. Not this year, because he shut down like the rest of us.
Yeah.
But, and what a great guy that guy is. And I met him through this. And there's some of the other people, some of the other characters in the show also. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah,
just a
yeah,
group.
yeah. It's really excellent. And then on top of that movie, and again, obviously not this year, but you do a lot of the conventions and stuff too, right?
Yeah. Well, I was a producer at Scare LA, and I worked at Scare LA for 5 or 6 years. I think five or 6 years. Our last one we did was a couple years ago at the LA Convention Center, and yeah, I've worked also at Haunt X. It was before this Haunt X. It was like their older group, because I've been doing this for a long time.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I do, and I I'll also go to stuff. If I'm not promoting something, you're still gonna see me going to the Halloween club and buying stuff just like everybody, because I love it, and it's something that no matter where I go, like within the haunt industry, if I go to a haunt or I go to any kind of show or stuff, there's usually a couple people that I work with or they know me or something, and we'll be like, hey, start talking about it. And the same thing like with doing films. I've done some films and some TV shows, and the same thing. You start meeting people, and then you see them again, or somebody connects with you online, and then they're like, do you know this one? And it's like, yeah, I do know them. So it's like a weird little interconnected horror family, I guess.
Totally, totally. And it's so interesting. And I've only been started this channel for about just about 6 months now, and
Really, that's it?
that's
You got
it.
a lot of really interesting videos. I was looking,
Thank you.
I didn't find it because of the 17th door. I just saw something like I watch a lot of weird and unusual stuff. That's what I like. So thank you, YouTube. So I get to
Yeah,
like see lots of different stuff. And then yours popped up, and I was watching something, and I always look, oh, you went to the 17th door. Let me see that one. And then I clicked on it, and I was like, oh, that's really cool that you did that. So
yeah, yeah,
we
yeah.
started talking from there.
Yeah, and honestly, like my story is probably similar to a lot of people. Like it's something that I've enjoyed my whole life. I mean, ever since I was a little kid. I probably went to my first, haunted house when I was at maybe first grade. At like our school had a Halloween carnival, and they had the little tame ones, and that was when I first really kind of got into it, and so I decided, yeah, I really wanted to do something, and I wanted to do a channel where it wasn't only just Halloween, even though obviously Halloween's a big focus. I can do stuff all during the year. I try to cover just unique things, unusual things that your typical news outlets or channels don't really get to very often. Because
Yeah.
I love bringing exposure to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the nice thing about living here in LA is there's lots of weird stuff all the time.
Love it.
And there's lots of weird theater or underground theater. And I mean, not just in LA, there's a lot of cities that have it, but this is where we're living. And, it's a great opportunity to really be able to do this kind of stuff. And, like I said, both sides. I want to be on the stage, but I also like to be in the audience, because I love the experience, and all different stuff in this genre, although of course Halloween and haunting is my main thing, but I like all different kind of things like
Yeah, yeah, for sure. That brings us to sort of a question I wanted to ask you, which is, so other than this year being kind of a, we might say anomaly, what do you think the industry is gonna look like going forward? So I know, like, I've kind of like some of the things we've talked about. I know there's a couple of experiences where you go in alone. There was a experience called Into the Black. They were gonna do a show this year. It got postponed. I hope they're still gonna end up doing it, but I've done that one a couple of years. That's Boneyard Effects. Larry Bones does that
that.
one, and you have to. It's like a haunt, but you go through by yourself. Like you're not allowed to go with any friends or anything.
Yeah,
Real
I have friends
atmosphere.
who work it, and I know
Oh
Larry.
yeah.
Larry did my makeup for Haunters. One of the things where I do a makeup thing, that was his makeup. So yeah, like I said, people.
Yeah. So
Where's it
yeah,
gonna
what do you
go?
think? Where do you think
Well,
it's
look,
headed?
it's let's pretend we all have the vaccine and we're back to a normal year, which hopefully will be our next season,
Yes.
2021. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Theatrical plays with dark storylines, yeah, let's bring it. Immersive haunts, love it. Immersive haunts, just not horror and non-horror, have just been taking off right before everything got put on hold. So yeah, that's going to go up. Extreme haunts, I don't think it'll get any more extreme
I don't
than
see how
where
it
we
could.
are. What?
I don't really see how it could with a lot of them
Well,
without
yeah,
getting into
where's the
legal.
line between I'm having fun and I'm going to sue you, you know?
And that's the thing I would worry
So
about. Honestly, it's like,
and because the people love all over the place kind of stuff, there'll always be spots for people there. But you know, you're talking like the 17th door, thousands and thousands of people can go through it because even though it's extreme, they still can do a lot of general stuff that people can challenge themselves, and also with the fact that they can always skip a room or leave at any time, it makes people a little more okay that normally would not go to extreme haunt. But extreme haunts, they're here to stay. They're never going to go away. I don't think that they'll ever go to a big commercial, anything bigger than like what the 17th door does. I don't think it'll be any bigger than that because it like population. The large amount of population is here will like this kind of stuff. There'll be smaller amount of people on one end and smaller people amount on the other end. But
yeah,
I mean, you know, people over there like children, and you want to have a haunted train or you want to have a walk-through pop-up thing is fine. I mean, that's good. That's, you know, that's what you want to do. Let's do it. But now that saying we're out of COVID and people are okay and you can actually interact with people, hey, let's take what we have now and expand on it. Some of these new attractions that are doing drive-throughs, let's keep the drive-through stuff and then end it with you park your car and you get out and then you walk through something. Let's not throw everything we've learned away. Let's expand on it. And hopefully that's the way we'll go. I mean, I can never see this industry going into a box and getting locked up. I mean, it just every year it expands more and more. And after a year like this year, where everyone's just wants a little bit of escapism, of course they're going to look for entertainment that makes them forget about their regular life and different things that they have control on. Going through a haunt and having a little control on that kind of thing. It's I think people like that. We had a really big year like right after 9/11, and I was working at Knott's, and I was like, it was really hard for me coming from New York. It was really hard. But we went, and I was like, I'm gonna still haunt, and I was like, I wasn't sure, but boy, people were crazy. We were selling out night after night. The guests were having a great time just because it was something that makes you forget about the horrors in your own life, and you can come have our pretend horrors brought to you, which you can control, you can mentally control and say, you know, okay, now I'm done with this and I'm walking away from it. So having that ability, I think it is something that is really going to help people, you know, moving forward.
yeah, and that's, I think, you know, when people ask me like, why do you like it so much? Well, what do you get out of being? Why would you want to get scared? And it's exactly like what you said. It's a release. You know, you get the adrenaline rush, you get you get all the chemicals going through your body, but you know, not only that, like you said, it's something that you control. And then when you've had a hard year like 2001 or 2020, this has been a really hard year. It's like people crave it, and I think that is showing in the amount of any activity that's out there right now is just like selling out, like
Yeah.
gangbusters. And that almost never happens. I mean, usually there's so much stuff going on that you can get a ticket to almost anything.
Yeah.
This year, if you got to jump on them real quick, you know, when something pops up, go for it because it's going to start selling out right away.
Right. But,
And
you know, like not only in the horror genre, which of course is what we love, but also anything immersive. Like I was saying, my husband doesn't like horror, doesn't like anything scary, but he'll do immersive stuff. Like he's done Delusion, and when we were in Japan, we did an immersive experience, which he loved. I'm like, you love this and you don't want to go through? No, I don't want to be scared. So that kind of immersive thing, being that can attract such a big audience, having that and horror mixed in together, I think really that's like a lot of where we'll go. But also, like I was talking to you about theatrical stuff. I love that too. So because there's so many different things. Like I'm really lucky. I've done a lot of different things. So I know what it's like to work in an extreme haunt. I know what it's like to work in a hayride, a haunted maze, a play. I mean, everything's different, but it's all different performances. And then how are you going to use what you have in the vehicle that you're using right now? And that's what I'm trying to do now with the virtual haunting. Use my experience from things that I've done in the past and how does it work within this format. And it's been really nice to challenge myself to try something completely different.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was going to tell you, you asked me about my favorite experience, and it's something I haven't talked about. I got an email from somebody to audition at the Geffen Theater in Los Angeles. So I was like, wow, this is like a real play I'm auditioning for, which is great. Let's go do it. And I auditioned, I got the part, and it was a show called Play Dead. And it was written by Todd Robbins and Teller from Penn and Teller. And he was also the director. And I played the part of Eusapia Palladino. And she was a psychic. And it was this really amazing show that had haunting elements in it. We had what was called the blackout rooms, where 3 times during the show, the lights would go completely out in the theater. And the 4 of us in the cast, besides, of course, Todd, it was his show and he was on stage, we would just have things magically happen to people in the audience. And different things that would, of course, because Teller's in it, there's going to be lots of magic. Well, not in it, but directed it. So the idea of using this scary, spooky part of theater and doing it at a very traditional theater, the Geffen Playhouse in LA, was really exciting. And it was like an honor to be part of that show. And hopefully they'll do it again, because there was a lot of things that I brought from the haunting world into the haunting part of that show, which made things a little bit different. And 2 of the 4 other the performers that were working with me had worked in haunted attractions too. So that was really cool. You know, it was very unique. It was a lot of fun. Something that I really enjoyed doing. And the idea of, again, bringing it to people that would never go to a haunted house. I mean, you're talking little old blue-haired lady, the arts crowds, museum people. A lot of those people would never go to a haunted house, but they'll go to a play at the Geffen. So it was really cool to see people reacting to being scared and loving it. So something different.
Well, I hope that comes back, because if it
I
does,
hope so too.
yeah, you gotta let me know if that one comes back.
Yeah, it played in Vegas, it played in New York, and then it came to LA, and then it was supposed to reopen a couple of different times, but you know how these things are.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something that I always tell people. If you've seen it, you never forget it, and if you've seen it, you say, "Oh my God, that's the best thing I've ever seen," and I can't tell you anything about it.
Right.
It's just one of those kind of shows.
Right.
And that's just an eyedropper of what actually happens in the show. I'm just talking about like my part of my experience. I mean, and that's just a tiny bit. The whole show is just an amazing group of stories that Todd Robbins puts on, and he's a really interesting guy too. You can find him online, and he's in the dark. He's on the dark side too, and known a lot for circus and sideshow performing and things like that. He would eat a light bulb every day. I'm not joking. And it wasn't spun glass. It was a real light bulb.
Wow.
And every day he would eat. He's in the Guinness World Book of Records, whatever, for eating the most light bulbs.
Wow.
It's real. It's not a stunt. I mean, there's a specific way he has to do it. Sure. But he legitimately did that every night. And every night we would watch him from the wings and just watch him, because it was like just such a cool thing. And people, even to this day, are like, that was fake, right? And it's like, no, I don't believe you. All right, don't believe me.
That sounds awesome. That definitely sounds, like I said, like theatrical. That's my favorite. It's just, and interactive theatrical is even better, because
there's a lot of stuff you'll see in the next. As soon as we get back up and running, you'll start seeing them pop up. Like a lot of New York and LA has already theaters that are geared towards this, and we'll see. Oh, so coming up for me also, I'm in a book that's coming out called The Haunter's Tale, and that's an anthology of different people in the horror and haunt industry that were asked to participate in this book. So I wrote a little bit and did a little interview and did a picture. So that's coming out. I'm working on a one-person show, which hopefully once we're done, because I figured once we're done with COVID and things are going to take a couple months to get started, I want to be out there right away and performing. So I'm working on a show for myself because that's why it's a one-person show, because I know I could do it. So I want to get that going, and then I'm hoping 17th Door, I'll get to be working on that next year with our Close to the Paula story and be able to be the teacher again. I really enjoyed that part. And again, working with some of these other people that I've talked about already, and we'll see. I mean, I'm up for anything. I love doing films and TV because, you know, they're always on. Like next week, I know on TV, people tell me, oh, this show's on, I saw you in this. That's great and wonderful, but where my real heart is live theater. So anytime I could be in a show, in a haunts or shows anyway, anything I could do with that, that's where I'll prefer to go. But, you know, I do films too and TV too, but it's nothing like when you can interact with a person and get somebody's immediate emotion coming out of them, whether it's fear or laughter, which is the same things.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than that, you know, as a performer. For me, I mean, that's what I like to do the best.
Yeah, that's awesome. So the book, when is that going to come out?
COVID delayed. It was supposed to be the beginning of beginning of October. They keep telling me any week. I got it on my website as soon as it's they're pre-orders right now, but as soon as it's available, I'll put that up on my website, sharmayer.com. I'm also on Facebook, Shar Mayer. I'm on Instagram, Shar Mayer, and Twitter is real Shar Mayer. That's me, Shar Mayer. I'm easy to find. You know, you go on Facebook and there's like one or two other people with the same name, and then you look at the names and you right away see monsters, and it's like, yeah, it's that one.
That's her.
Yeah, I found her. There she is.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I'm definitely going to be looking forward to that book because that sounds really, really great.
And I'll be looking for your next videos, David, because I put you on subscribe, and I really like the stuff you're doing, and hopefully as we move forward, you'll get to see, well, you've already seen me a few times without knowing me. Yeah. But you'll be able to see me in something, and you'll be like, "Oh, I can't believe I got to see you finally."
Yeah, I can't wait to see more people in the industry. I mean, that's the one thing that I've missed is, you know, I started the channel right after the whole lockdown started. I started gathering stuff before that, but I started putting it out right after. And then it was just like, man, I would love to just go out and network and meet more people. And yeah, that just wasn't possible. But I'm definitely looking forward to meeting you in person one day, to meeting all the other great people in this industry.
We'll go do a show together, or you'll come see a show I do, or we'll go to Zombie Joe's or something. I don't know. There's plenty of stuff. You know, that's the nice thing about living here.
Yeah, you got to mentor me a little bit. Give me some tips on, and I'll do something. You know.
Yeah, here's the tip. Find your inner haunter. Everybody's got it that's into this dark thing. Find that haunter and let it free. Look what it is that you find scary and find a way to bring that out. And that's when I mentor and coach other haunters, and that's one of the little tips that sometimes people don't understand. Sometimes they're like, yeah, that's all it is. It's like, yeah, that's all it is looking inside yourself and making whatever it is work for you. Like my daughter haunts also, and she's completely different haunter than I am. She found what she is inside, her dark side, and boy, she's freaking scary. I've seen some of the stuff she does, and it's like, holy, you're doing what? Really? Oh my God. And then I go see it, and it's like, it scares me.
That's awesome.
Completely different. But everyone's different. Every haunter is different too. No one's going to be doing the exact same thing. If you have a creative person, they'll find different ways. You could have one character, and you can have 5 different people find different ways to bring that character out. And that's one of the cool things about haunting, is being able to be creative and doing it in a dark, scary way.
100%. Well, thank you so much, Shar. It's been really
Thank
an honor to
you.
talk to you tonight because, I mean, you're just like a legend in this industry. So the fact that you found me, the
First of
fact that
all,
you started watching my videos, I'm like, wow, like that's insane. It's like I don't even believe it's real. But thank you so much for coming on.
thanks for having me. It's an
Yeah,
honor to be on your channel. Like I told you, I really dig your channel. I love all the stuff you're doing.
thank
So
thank you.
I'm looking
So
forward to your.
everybody, please go check out Shar. All her socials, I'll put them down here in the description. Shar mentioned them a little earlier. Go check out that book and go check out Haunters: The Art of the Scare. It's like I said, if you have Amazon Prime, it's free, or you can go to iTunes and I'm gonna go check that out with the bonus features now too, because I
Yeah,
want
the
to.
bonus features are fun. Yeah, and if you're a haunter or a hunt fan, yeah, definitely like hit me up on social. Just send me a message. I love to hear what people are doing, and especially now it's so hard. Yeah, like you could see, I'm not like this crazy person. I'm actually a nice person. People are always
Very
surprised when they meet me that I'm actually nice.
just down to earth.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Shar. Again, it's been a pleasure,
Oh,
and
my pleasure.
I hope to see you soon. And thank you everybody for watching this interview, and we'll see you next time.